Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about I can't stop obsessing over my ex. Attachment trauma. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how we have obsessive thoughts about our ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever it is. Then I'm going to go into an email, and I'm going to even talk about why the breakup isn't as painful to our ex. So if you're going through a breakup right now, you may find yourself obsessed with your ex. A breakup can be very traumatic. Now, when you're going through it, you are going to feel physical pain, right? You might feel that pain in your chest where you just feels like your heart has been ripped out of your chest. You're anxious, you're sick to your stomach, you probably got diarrhea all the time, you don't want to eat, you can't sleep, and all of the physical pain is just a constant reminder of your ex because you're physically feeling the effects of the loss. So then it starts to consume your mind, and you're going to have relentless, obsessive and intrusive thoughts where you can't turn it off. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop thinking about it, you can't tune them out, it consumes you. So I have an email here from Jerry who wants to know why. He is going through a breakup and having a really difficult time. He writes, "Hi Craig, I just signed up for your Skype coaching package. I'm really looking forward to it. I broke up with my ex 2 months ago and I can't stop thinking about her. I've lost 10 pounds. I keep waking up in the middle of the night and I'm anxious all the time. Why does this happen to us? Why is it worse for some people than others?" That is an excellent question. You might find some of your friends, you'll see them go through a breakup and they just seem unscathed, unaffected. You know, they might be sad about it and you're just sitting there thinking, I don't get it. Why are they able to go through this and I feel like I'm dying? Well, I think a lot of this has to do with our own personal history and the attachment that we formed with our caregivers. I think this plays an enormous role in that. So if you had a secure attachment style to your caregivers, you're going to be more likely to go through the loss quickly. And it's because you've had love your entire life. And you've had your needs met your entire life. Whereas somebody that has been neglected or overlooked or not heard or not seen, and they grew up in that kind of home, they have a lot of unmet needs, and it's bringing up those unmet needs that you've had your whole life. I'm going to talk more about this because this is really helpful to understand. I want you guys to understand that the breakup is more about your history of unmet needs than it is about that actual person. I know it's hard to see this, but you have to be able to separate that this isn't so much about them as it is your childhood wounds, your childhood needs that went unmet. And just to give you an idea that it's really about the needs and not that particular person, I want you to imagine something for a minute. I want you to visualize this scenario. I wonder how your feelings would change about the breakup if I told you that tomorrow you would meet a hotter, sweeter, funnier, richer, more educated partner. Really think about that scenario for a minute. Imagine that. Somebody that you find more physically attractive, more pleasant to be around, funnier, kinder, more engaging, all of those things. Imagine that. Would you be as traumatized about the ex? I think we both know the answer to that. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's because you've had your needs ignored for so long, and you've projected onto this person that they're going to meet all those needs. All of a sudden, the idea of them being gone causes you to feel like, oh my God, I'm going without again. I'm going to be unsafe, unloved, and deprived all over again. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Okay? So he's got a little bit more to this email. He says, I don't even think she thinks about me. It makes me feel even worse. I have been there. I have been in that situation. I know exactly what that feels like. It really does make things from bad to worse. It's bad enough to think that this person could break up with you, and it's confusing, and you're like, I don't understand why they could do this. I thought they loved me. And then on top of that, it's like love is a faucet, and they just completely turn off the water and not another drop comes out. That's what it felt like for me. That's why I describe it that way, because that is exactly what I felt like at the time that it happened. Alright, so, do they think about you? Of course they think about you. But remember, initially, they will probably be relieved. Unfortunately, for you to feel like that, it's just the reality of the situation. They probably felt trapped, and so now breaking up with you, they felt relieved. And a lot of times, there's somebody waiting in the background. A good friend once told me, a man doesn't throw away his only pair of shoes. Always stuck with me, because it is so great and so accurate. So, initially, they're thinking about their new toy. You know, that new person that they're fantasizing about. Until reality hits home, and that person that they projected all of their unmet needs onto is not what they thought. So, the other thing you want to remember is that once you get something, you're no longer wanting it. Think about that for a minute. There's a big difference between wanting and having. You can want this brand new thing, and then once you have it, completely different feeling. So, okay, let's say in the situation where you had a partner that had been secretly desiring somebody else, projecting onto that new person, fantasizing about them, chances are they're going to blow it. What do you think most relationships fail at? 90% of the time, right? If you take a look at your history of relationships, all of them have failed until the current one, and maybe even the current one. So if everybody does that, I can't even imagine what the number is, but it's like almost every one of our relationships is going to fail. So what's going to happen? As long as you maintain no contact, which I'm not going to get into in this video because I have several others that you might want to check out, but as long as you maintain no contact, they're going to start to wonder and think about you over time. But, okay, so the question is, in this video I'm really talking about why they aren't obsessing over you and why you're obsessing over them. I have 3 really good points here. 1, they chose to break up with you. It wasn't unexpected for them. They'd been thinking about it for some time. People don't usually just break up with somebody overnight, so think about that. They've been thinking about it for a while now. Number 2, they were prepared. Because who knows how long they've been thinking about it. No way to tell. As a matter of fact, maybe they got somebody lined up in the background to help prepare them for that loss. Somebody they've already been projecting their fantasies onto. Number 3, they had control over the situation. Think about it. You have no say in the matter. You could try and beg and plead for them back. That ain't going to work. That's just going to make it worse. So, what you want to happen is you want it to get to a point where they don't have control, or they feel like they don't have control anymore. And this is going to happen when that projection becomes reality with that other person, if there's somebody else in the background, and all of a sudden they're like, well, you know what? I shouldn't have broke up with him. He was this and that, but they're going to start to overlook some of your flaws and be like, but he was a good guy to me. I should call him, and they're going to put themselves in your orbit. So, what needs to happen is they need to wonder about you. They need to get anxiety over you. Separation anxiety over losing you. Because anxiety is the root of desire. Alright. So, our connection and our relationship to others is the primary way that human beings feel safe. So when we're going through a breakup, it feels like we're a lost child and we've lost our caregivers. It feels like we are literally going to die because it kicks in that survival mode. All anxiety is separation anxiety. It keeps us alive. It keeps us safe. So we attach to others. So our attachment to our partner is the way we feel safe as an adult. In our childhood, it was our caregivers. As an adult, it's our partner. When we lose that connection, triggers that separation anxiety and our attachment traumas. If you were neglected, abused, unseen, unheard, ignored, all of those things growing up, it's going to trigger all of those feelings again. And remember what I tell you guys about trauma. If a trauma is severe enough, you can't separate the past from the present. So it's those past feelings being triggered into the present, being projected onto your ex. Good? You got that? I know it's abstract, and we're dealing with the unconscious here, so sometimes it takes a little bit to really get the hang of it. Now, when your partner breaks up with you, you don't feel safe. Your body releases chemicals, probably the same chemicals that are released when you lose your parents as a child. I haven't seen any research about that, but I'm guessing it would probably be the same. The brain is now perceiving that you are being deprived of all of your unmet needs. You're no longer safe. You don't have love. You don't have connection. And those attachment traumas come up. That's why you're losing emotional self-control. You can't regulate your anxiety. You're trying to use that person to soothe yourself. That's why you're begging them to stay and try and work things out. And that's why you can't hear that they're feeling smothered and they don't want to be with you, because you're not caring about their feelings, because your anxiety has got you in survival mode, and all you can think of is reducing your own anxiety. Alright. Kind of lost my place here. I go off on tangents sometimes. So what you got to remember is that the breakup isn't so much about the person, it's about projecting that you're going to get all those unmet needs. They'll stay unmet. You're going to be alone, unsafe, you're in danger, you don't have love, you have no connection, you have no warmth, you have no one to take care of you. And this is significantly more difficult for those of you that have an anxious or an avoidant attachment style. Because when babies develop a secure attachment style to their parents, they're better able to have fulfilling intimate relationships, maintain that emotional balance, and soothe their anxiety, calm their emotions. They are more confident and feel better about themselves. They tend to enjoy being with other people more because other people have always treated them well. At least their caregivers. which is really the most important thing, or people. People that have had a secure attachment style are able to rebound from disappointment and loss, because they kind of feel like those needs aren't going to stay unmet. They're just going to, it'll just maybe be some time before they find somebody else, and they're no longer disappointed. They're happy again, and they found somebody else. And babies that have a secure attachment style also are able to share their feelings and seek support. Why? Because they had a secure base with their caregivers. They could go to them and they would get their needs met when they needed attention or food or love or whatever is what they needed. Their parents gave it to them, so they feel more comfortable going to somebody. And they saw their parents model this kind of behavior. They saw their parents, likely have secure attachment with each other and be able to communicate with each other, give each other what they needed. And so for them, it feels familiar. For you, it's scary, it's terrifying. People are always trying to balance between feeling smothered and feeling abandoned. And you would see some crazy things if you were on my end about how people handle this kind of situation. Things people will do when they're feeling smothered or feeling abandoned. It's very irrational because they can't soothe themselves. Like maybe somebody, just I'll give a quick example of somebody that's feeling smothered, will triangulate and bring in a third party into their relationship. I had an ex that did this. Anytime she felt too close to somebody, she would contact her ex-boyfriend and start talking with him. And it was because she knew by doing that unconsciously, because I think this girl was absolutely clueless when it came to consciousness and awareness, unconsciously she would realize that the current boyfriend, such as me, would see her texting back and forth with an ex, be uncomfortable with that, not like what was going on, because you could see the big picture that that guy was a scumbag, and it would distance her from the current partner, and she could go back and forth between the ex and the current partner and never feel too smothered. Crazy, right? A lot of stuff we do in the unconscious. So that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I went on some tangents there that I hadn't planned on talking about. But if you liked the video, make sure you put a like on there and subscribe to the channel, because I post videos Monday through Friday. Leave your comments because I do read them and I do try and get back with you guys. And when you guys want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net, and sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I'm Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.